recovery. So you know that when I knock him down, he stays on the ground for a little bit. If I put him in normal recovery, this is what a lot of people refer to as quick rise. You see that he gets up right away. The other option is back recovery. So this makes him do the back roll. The reason why it's nice to have all these things is because if I'm sitting here in training mode and I have it set to no recovery, I'm like, haha, uppercut, now I'm going to practice my cross up here. And you're like, yeah. But the problem with it is, honestly, if you're playing against people, most of them are probably going to do a normal wake up like that. So you're going to want to try to like uppercut that, like go for a cross up jump kick. And then they're already up and they're going to be able to uppercut you. So having quick rise like this is nice, because now you kind of can simulate real battle situations and the timing at which opponents will actually get up. Not only that, but for example, remember I showed you these two combos early on? Now it really becomes significant. If I do the fierce uppercut, you see when he gets up, I barely have enough time to walk up to him before he gets up and to hit him. So if I choose, for example, to do a hurricane instead, I'm right next to him when he gets up. I am able to continue the pressure. So now you can practice meaty pressure timing when they get up. Meaty timing, if you guys are unaware of what meaty means, is basically placing a move into the opponent as they get up. So that pretty much they do not have the opportunity to do anything except block, or perhaps perform a reversal or wake up special move that has invincibility. But this is very important because now I can actually test this. See, there you go. So I'm testing my meaty timing against these characters. The reason why this is also good is because there are some moves that knock down the opponent long enough that you get really nice setups off of them. You know, you'll see people do a lot of things like, you know, setups like that, for example, to test to see what they can do. You want to see what your options are against someone who does a quick rise. You also want to test your options against people who do back rolls, for example. So if I sweep him and he back rolls, you see how he gets away like that? So if I did this, whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. If I did this, you see the same timing that I used for meaty before now misses, because back rolls are a little bit longer. So now you want to come up with something that'll work on back rolls. So you start learning the timing to fight back rolls. And so that's why you would have these two different situations here to set up how to react to each of these options. What's really important now is that there's the random option, very similar to the blocking option that we had before. The reason why this now becomes super important is because usually the opponent, when they get knocked down by something, they have all three options available to them. Delayed, back roll, delayed, back roll, and come on, Ken. You can do it. Oh my god, you just felt dizzy. Back roll. Okay, the random really doesn't want to do quick rise. There it is. No, I think that was quick rise. Yeah, that's quick rise. Pretty sure. I hate you, Ken, so much right now. Okay, that was quick rise right there. So that was quick rise right there. So you can get all the different options. So there's a lot of games where there's a lot of mix-ups that you can get really good pressure on the enemy. And by putting them on random, now you could actually test to see if your setups work on all the different options. Because these options, so for example, if I did this, it wouldn't be any good if they did quick rise and it missed and then they could uppercut me in recovery or something like that, but it works on back roll. You know, you want to test all these different options here so that you know what to do in given all the different abilities that the opponent has. For example, if I set him to normal recovery and I sweep, I'm going to be like, oh dude, if I sweep them and dash forward and they quick rise, I get a throw. Like this. Really cool option. Okay, so, but then if you notice on back roll, you're out of range for the throw. So now if you put them on random, if I see him do the regular immediate wake up, I'll throw him. If I see a back throw, I'll walk forward and throw him. busy. If I see him do nothing, I'll have my meaty timing ready for him. So by putting them on random, you can get yourself ready for all the different options that are available to the opponent and see if you have a good sequence to handle all of them. So that's what all the recovery options are for. For counter, you have on and random. On, obviously, so if you're not familiar with Street Fighter V, counter hits are very important because when you counter hit someone, they actually end up going into hit stun for a longer period of time. When I hit Ken, you notice how he's reeling back a little bit. He's going, ah. So during the time that he's reeling back, if anything hits him in that time, that's how a combo works, right? So my fireball comes out in time to hit him. So he's in hit stun, and he gets hit by the fireball. When you're in counter state, you actually get put into hit stun for just fractions of a second longer. But it's long enough to allow combos, to allow newer combos that you can't do before. What's even more important is this game really has started to take advantage of something called crush counters. Certain normals that you have, when you hit them, it makes that big crashing noise. And it makes this big old spark, and you see this really exaggerated hit stun that Ken goes into. He's all spinny and twirly and stuff like that. And these are important. My standing roundhouse as a crush counter pops the opponent into the air. Now if you notice, every time I hit someone with a counter, look right above my finger again. Look where the sheep are on the screen on the left. You'll actually see the word counter appear on screen. That'll actually tell you whether you hit him with a counter hit or not. You're awarded a counter hit by hitting an opponent during the startup of one of their moves. That's how you get a counter hit. If you hit them during recovery while they're walking around, or hit them during an active frame, it's not a counter hit. If you hit them during their startup, it's a counter hit. But the nice thing about training mode is you don't have to worry about that. You can just turn on counter and test combos. So for example, I have crush counter here. So normally if I turn counter off, if I do this, I can't get that to combo. That's heavy punch, V skill, back strong into fierce, target combo. That doesn't combo, but if I have a crush counter on, now all of a sudden that does combo. So you see how counter hits can afford you combos that you normally can't do. An example of non-crush counter, for example, is low strong, low forward. That is not a combo. Low strong, low forward EX, not a combo. Low strong into low forward is not a true combo. But if I turn on counter hits, now all of a sudden low strong into low forward actually gives me 2 hits. So let's go back to, I mentioned that this combo only works on counter hit. Only if low strong is a counter does it combo into low forward. Well, guess what? Remember how I talked about hit confirming with the block no block option? You can actually hit confirm off of counter hits as well. This is another really important thing. So let's say I'm futzing around here and then I hit him with a low strong. I only want to try to follow up with low forward hurricane if he gets counter hit. Now believe it or not, a lot of top players, when they go for a button like low strong in this situation, they'll actually take their eyes off of both characters and look right where that counter appears on screen. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to turn off key display, and I'm actually going to look for that counter message. And if I see the counter message or not, I can hit confirm into the follow-up or not. This is a very common tactic at very high level play. So now I have counter hit on random. So let's see if I can do this. Whoops, I messed up. I didn't get it to combo because you can, and actually, you know what? I could probably test it if I change to block after first attack. Okay, counter hit. No counter hit, I'm not going to do anything. Okay, I saw counter hit, so now I'm going to combo into low forward. No counter hit, no counter hit, counter. I'm going to combo into my combo. No counter hit. So you can see it's actually very humanly possible to hit confirm whether or not that counter message comes up. And this is actually something that's very important. You will be able to get max damage hit confirms by learning how to do this. Again, this is an intermediate or a higher level skill. This is not something that you're going to be learning right away. Okay? So at the lowest levels, don't be trying to go sit here and hit confirm off counter hits. You know, that's going to be something that you're going to learn later. But understand that this option is here so that when it gets to that point where it's time to learn counter hit confirms, you will have that option to be able to do it. So that's what random is for, is so that you can actually test those kind of things. Alright, for stun, you have normal, you have no stun, and you have stun on next attack. Normal, as you've seen, as I keep playing, you know, he keeps getting stunned. You see that the stun meter keeps building up a little bit. It drains a little bit. And as I keep doing combos like this, his meter keeps building up, you know. And then eventually, he's going to fall stunned. Look, I'm just going to say this right now. This is annoying as hell. 99% of the time, you're going to put it to no stun. Because you can still see the stun meter build up. The game still tells you how much stun you built up in the attack display, where you see stun right under damage. It tells you how much stun it does. You can see how much stun it does on the screen right there. But if you don't care about stun and you're just doing combos because you want to test combos, they're not going to fall stun in the middle of your testing. And for those of you who are training mode lab monsters, I will tell you right now, every time you finally remember to try to do something in a combo is when the dummy gets stunned. Like, you try something, you mess up. You try something, you mess up. You try something, you get that part right, and then they fall stunned and you can't finish the combo. It is really frustrating. So 99% of the time, you're going to have no stun on. This is the most useful setting to have because then you don't have to worry about it. Now, stuns on next attack means that the stun meter is always maxed out. The next thing you hit them with will knock them dizzy. I'm not gonna lie, I went through this training menu before I did this episode to make sure that I knew what every setting was for and could think of an example for every setting. I don't know what this setting is for. I cannot figure out a practical use for this. This was an option in Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. Very useful option because when you knock somebody dizzy, you actually got extra combos that you couldn't do unless they were stunned. Like before they hit the ground, like as soon as I jab them and they're stunned, while in the air I could juggle them a bunch of times and they would still get up being dizzy. Those combos were only possible if you knocked them stunned. In this mode, in this game, in Street Fighter 5, stun on next attack, I honestly don't know what the practical reason for this is, because it's not like I can test a combo, get them stunned, and then do another combo afterwards, because I can't do a combo when it's set up this way, because the first hit's gonna knock them dizzy. So I'm not sure what that's gonna be for. Yeah, I guess you can do that. So Muffin Man in the chat says you can actually test to see, for example, I knocked him dizzy. How much meter can I build before I go for a combo? That's definitely something that you can do. So you're like, okay, let's say I knock him dizzy with a sweep. How many uppercuts do I get? Okay, now I can get this combo. Or I knock him dizzy with a sweep and I want a jump in combo. You know, so now on that you can test to see how much extra meter you can build before they have time to get up. So yeah, that's true. That's true. Thank you, Muffin Man. That's actually a really good point. That is pretty good. So there you go. So if I stun, for example, now I can test to see how much extra meter I can build. So like, let's say I stun it off of a jab. I want to see if I can get 3 uppercuts. No, I can't. Okay. So if I stun him with a jab, I'll do 1, 2, and then I'll go for my combo. You know. So that works. That works. But there you go. So most of the time, 99.99999% of the time, you're going to have this set to no stun.